It's just after 9 p.m. on Wednesday evening. Thought I'd come and have a wander around and see what the town centre looked like. Nice camper van there. Yeah, so this is Rotunda area. Quite a nice terrace of shops. That dome build at the top used to be Lloyd's Bank. It's now the Ivy restaurant. Some upmarket clothes shops. Florist shop, that's quite a recent addition, I think. And this bakery as well. I haven't actually been in. They didn't open very long ago. I can't remember now, week, two. They do coffee and stuff outside, but the bread looks amazing. Amazing price, I expect, as well, but still, check it out. Might get a decent loaf of bread. Ladies' lingerie or whatever they call it. That's been open a while. Well, this coffee shop's busier at night than it is during the day. This building over here used to be owned by a very eccentric antiques dealer, Summerfield. Met him many times. I went into that shop once and I wanted to buy a Charles Dickens book, and he said, "You're too young to appreciate quality like that," and told me to get out. But when he actually passed away, the fire service had to get him out of one of those attic windows. Early in the morning it was. I remember coming up here driving a taxi and I saw the poor guy. But I'd like to know what happened to his fortune, because that place there you couldn't move in, and then just down here, turn to the left, he had a house and it was just rammed with antiques, and the price that they advertised when they actually sold it all, whoever sold it all, was well over £7 million. I'm sure if you check Summerfield Antiques dealer, I used to go and watch him at the auction rooms just for the entertainment value, really, because he was brilliant. He knew exactly what he was buying. Clever man. Sad, really. I don't think he was married. I spoke to him a couple of times. He was very sort of standoffish, I suppose the word. Sort of into himself and not really interested in other people. Just his antiques. Sad though, that wealthy, and you know, I don't know what happened to his fortune. It's a busy spot, this. I think the owner of this is gosh, I think his name has gone out of my head, sorry. Something to do with fashion. Oh God, I always forget it. Oh well. These blooming things were a menace. There's literally hundreds of them around Cheltenham. Yeah, this guy owns all of these big buildings. That one there used to be Keel's, the antique dealers. But they're massive houses, and he owns a whole lot of this right the way down here. So that's 3 big properties in all. Empty in the restaurant area, but the bar at the top is packed. Some music somewhere. Strange music for a restaurant. Yeah, this is a nice terrace down here as well. Ladies' College through the alleyway there. Yeah, once upon a time all these were private houses. All offices now. There's a quadrangle. And the white tents over there is the annual local artists display. All for sale if you're interested. I haven't looked at them for years. At least they all look nice. Imagine those though when they were private houses. Oh. Big. Yeah, the quadrangle, that was revamped a couple of years ago. Quite a good job they did on it actually. Restaurants and then offices. Well, this is the main promenade, they call it. Very quiet. There's no bars down this lower end, so that's why it is. There used to be nightclubs all along here. Maybe not anymore. I don't know. This used to be a bar. The first ever bar in the promenade, 1992 it was called. Now it's pizza. That's Cafe Nero over there, and then the terrace on the roof of it. That used to be the old Cadena. I never saw that. I mean, that was pre-68, I think. A big swanky cafe, the Cadena. They had all over the place. The one I remembered mostly was in 1959 in Worcester, which is about 28 miles north of here. I remember going in there with my mum years and years ago. Neptune's Fountain had a revamp. I don't think it was turned on last year, I'm not sure, I don't remember it being on, but it's all been cleaned up. The standard joke when I was a youngster was people throwing washing powder or washing up liquid into the water so it used to froth up. And the building behind was the old, not that building, the one that stood there was the old ABC cinema, which they completely demolished and rebuilt that lot. Cheltenham Moon and Civil offices there. Not that they do a lot, except waste money. It's amazing, you used to go into the main entrance up there, just past those blue cars, and it was busy. There was lots of staff in there dealing with all sorts, you know, your council tax, your rent on council properties, water rates, whatever rates. And then they had during COVID, the excuse was, oh, we'll close it down, which they did, work from home. And before they reopened, they spent God knows how many thousands revamping the place. And you walk in there now and you're lucky to see 2 people sat in there. Yet there's about 13 or 14 computers. So I don't know what all that was about. This is where the Remembrance Sundays always presented every year. I had a revamp a couple of years ago. All cleaned and all the names were repaired if there was any damage. Quite a good job actually. the lights too. I can't see what the flag is. Probably, I think it's a Union Jack. It ought to be. Yeah, so it's quite quiet. Not much going on. Mind you, it is now 9:25. Lots of ladies in all their finery. So like I say, there's no bars or major restaurants down here, that's why it's so quiet. I'm just going to walk up. Used to call this the little promenade here, but it's not, it's Ormond Terrace. We'll have a walk up through here. The Regent Arcade there, that'll be locked now. I filmed this the other day, these really nice windows, but they cost a fortune if they got damaged, and thankfully they don't. I was watching a YouTube video the other night, I didn't realise on a weekend they have mounted police patrolling because they had a problem round here, and there were 2 female officers on these massive horses, did a chase round here. Never knew that. I don't come out that late at night normally. Not a weekend anyway. Leave it to the young uns. 21 Club's still there, but it doesn't look like it's going. This is the back entrance and loading bay of what was Cavendish House. The shop's still there, but it's rented out now to different outlets. Sort of low class stuff, most of it. Shame really. That's the old food hall in there. When I worked there, I used to love the smell in there. Oh. Not a place I could afford to shop. I remember my take-home wages in 1970 was £5.19 6. That's £5.75 to any of you young uns. That was my take-home. And we lived well on that. £2 to me mum, £2 in the bank, and £1.19 6 to spend. Sounds crazy, but things were cheap in those days. Looks nice at night, doesn't it, the Everyman? Yeah, there's a bar up here. It used to be the old Star Hotel. But, yeah, so these are the window displays. They're quite good, but it's not classy stuff. Not that it used to be in there. Still, I'll knock that on the head now.